Japanese hospital on Earth. Kana Kagami, a permanently disabled patient, passes away when her life support fails during a power outage. However, to her astonishment, she then wakes up in the world of Leadale, which is the virtual reality setting of the role-playing game she used to play as her avatar, the High Elf Mage Kana. She is surprised to learn from the innkeepers where she awakens that 200 years have passed in the game since she last logged in, and that the once prosperous White Kingdom of Felst and Green Kingdom of Gruskalo have merged into a single kingdom that has fallen into poverty over the past 60 years. She also receives information from her AI support unit key about what happened to her on Earth. Feeling lost and unsure of what to do, she decides to visit her skill master operation base in the game, the Silver Tower. However, she is reminded by the tower's guardian that she has several children whom she had adopted through the game's foster system, and is asked to check on the other 12 skill master's guardian towers. On her way back to the inn, she rescues a hunter from a monster and later faints after drinking wine at a feast. 2. The following day, Kana wakes up with a hangover and proceeds to heal a mercenary who was gravely injured by an ogre while crossing the forest. As a gesture of gratitude for saving their comrade's life, the mercenaries, along with their employer, the kobold merchant Elena, agree to accompany Kana to the capital of Felskalo, where her children are residing and where she hopes to find one of the guardian towers. Kana registers herself as an adventurer and is able to reunite with her dwarf son Kardots, who then informs her other children, Scargo and Mai, of their mother's presence in the city. However, Kana inadvertently attracts attention to herself when she responds to a request from the Adventurers Guild to deliver a potion to a student at the Royal Academy, and later uses her impressive magic abilities to assist royal courtiers Agato and Lanti in capturing the kingdom's runaway prince, whom she affectionately calls Primo. 3. On the following day, Kana continues her search for possible locations of the Guardian Towers, but she is interrupted by a summons to the Royal Academy. There, she reunites with her daughter Mai and her son-in-law Lopus Harvey, who question her about how to create a potion similar to the one she had delivered the day before, using a method that has been long forgotten. Later, Kana takes on a quest to exorcise a ghost from the Colosseum in the capital, with Primo following her. To her surprise, she discovers that the ghost is actually the custodian of the 9th skill Master's Guardian Tower, which is hidden beneath the Colosseum. She is then shocked to learn that, after her death on Earth, the Leadale game was taken offline. After the Guardian appoints her as the new mistress of the tower, Kana falls into a deep depression. When her worried son Scargo comes to see her, Kana, frustrated by his eccentricity, impulsively punches him through the ceiling of her inn room before returning to her state of melancholy. 4. Kana swiftly overcomes her depression, and soon after, Kardots finds her and introduces her to Scargo. Later, Elena offers her a job as a caravan guard as he travels to the nearby kingdom of Helspur, as the usual route is plagued by bandits. Despite attempting an alternative route, they fall into an ambush laid by the bandits. However, with Kana's formidable magic, and the help of her summoned allies, they quickly defeat the bandits, enabling the caravan to proceed on its journey. At Mai's request, Kana agrees to deliver a letter to Karik, who works at the influential merchant company Sakea, only to discover that Karik is her own grandson. She also meets her granddaughter Karina, who is a member of Helspur's night company. Despite a tense introduction where Kana's irritation at her grandchildren's reverence towards her surfaces, she begins her search for the next Guardian Tower. Along the way, she meets two adventurers, Quoke and Xyz, who secretly reveal that they are also stranded Leadale gamers. They inform Kana about Crescent Moon Castle, a location deep within bandit territory. With the help of Karik, Kana devises a plan to infiltrate the bandit lands by posing as a supplier for Karina's garrison. However, their plan is interrupted when the fortress comes under attack by rock golems. Despite her hesitation about drawing attention to herself, Kana comes to the aid of the knights and helps fend off the attack. Using her formidable magic, Kana easily defeats the attacking golems and deduces that their summoner must be another player who, like her, is trapped within the game. As she arrives at Crescent Moon Castle, she confronts a gang of bandits and their demon boss, who is indeed revealed to be another Leadale player taking advantage of the absence of game administrators to cause chaos. Despite Kana's objections, the bandit leader is apprehended by the Helspur Knights for trial after she restrains his abilities. Kana then proceeds to the castle, where she revives the skeletal guardian and discovers that this guardian tower belonged to Opus, her former mentor and fellow skill master in the game. The guardian presents Kena with the tower's guardian ring and a fairy, familiar left to her by Opus, and she also receives a generous, monetary reward from her grandchildren for successfully eliminating the bandit threat. With her mission accomplished, Kena returns to Felscalo. While making her way back to the Felscalo capital, Kena meets Cardots, who was repairing a bridge in the area, and they return to the capital together. Kena then takes up an adventuring quest to hunt horned bear meat for a high-class restaurant, but is joined unexpectedly by Lanti and her friend Mai, who asks to accompany them. Recognizing Mai as Primo's sister, Kena grants permission, and during their journey through the forest, she impresses the two girls with her magical powers, even constructing a hot bath out of thin air. The next day, at the Adventurers Guild, Kena encounters Carl, an adventurer who, like her, is also a player from Earth who has been stuck in the world of Leadale for years. Meanwhile, at the Royal Academy, Lopus Harvey attempts to recreate Kena's potion, making method but fails, resulting in a monstrous creature, an event monster from the game, being inadvertently summoned into existence and causing chaos. Felscalo's defenders mobilize to combat the powerful monster, but they struggle to defeat it. However, Kena returns and effortlessly vanquishes the creature. In the aftermath, Carl and Shining Saber recognize Kena as a fellow player and invite her to meet them in the Colosseum. There, they reveal their true identities as Leadale players and exchange news, establishing a contact link. As a token of gratitude, Carl receives a powerful new sword and a useful ability from Kena. In return, Carl shares information about the possible location of another guardian tower near a coastal fishing village. Following this, Kena decides to settle down permanently in the village where she initially arrived in Leadale. Kena receives a warm welcome upon her return to the village, and is curious about a strange singing coming from the village well. She investigates and rescues Mimily, a mermaid who was trapped in an underwater cave due to a magical portal. Kena constructs a bathhouse to provide shelter for Mimily. She then returns to Felscalo's capital to join an expedition led by Shining Saber, the leader of the Felscalo Knights, against the bandit threat towards the coastal village mentioned by Carl. During the campaign, Shining Saber performs a gallant act for Kena, which leads to a misunderstanding among the knights that they are romantically involved. After a few days, Kena leaves the knights and makes her way to the coastal village only to find it enveloped in a fog that drains life and infested with zombies. While exploring the village infested with zombies, Kena comes across Quoke and Xyz, who are on their own assignment, along with a young girl named Luca, who is the sole survivor of her community. Realizing that the death fog is likely a quest event from the game, Kena summons Roxalis, an NPC butler, to take care of Luca while she, Xyz, and Quoke set out to defeat the boss monster responsible for the situation. Once the threat is eliminated, Kena finally arrives at the Guardian Tower she was searching for, the Palace of the Dragon King, where she is accepted as the new master by the Guardian. She then adopts Luca as her new daughter and brings her along with Roxalis on her journey. Kena escorts Luca to Felscalo to introduce her to her step-siblings and friends. In gratitude for her past assistance, Elena gifts Kena a wagon, and Kena also summons Roxine, her werecat maid, to join her expanding household and provide assistance. Using her magical abilities, Kena converts the wagon into a self-propelled golem. With her entourage, she embarks on a journey to the remote village, where she introduces Luca to the locals, who warmly prepare a welcome party for her. The day after the party, the villagers grant Kena a small plot of land on which she builds her new house with her magic. After she, Luca, Roxalis and Roxine have, more or less, settled in, Kena fulfills a promise to Lyd and takes her and Luca on a flying tour across the land.